Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 123, Diamondbacks versus Braves, game 1. Vargas playing first base, Tim Tao playing center field, Tyler Locklear playing DH, and the rest is the same. Jorge Barosa came in to pitch hit as well with Lars Nootbaar. In the bottom of the second, fortunately, Jorge Barosa came in to play center field. For that, because Tim Tawa is playing, I made a mistake here. So somehow enough of Ryan Wolfsmith was actually playing left field than center field. I had that wrong. So I had two people playing center field. Tim Tawa was the person was playing center field. But anyways, enough for that. For the people came in to play in bottom of the second. That's why enough of Jorge Barosa came in to play center field at the time. And then for Tim Tawa that was playing at center field, he went to play first. And then for Vargas was playing at first, he went to play second because of enough Marte came out from the game pretty early. We don't know what happened to Marte. He, got injured and stuff. Those are the things enough. It's weird. Perdomo happened to him once and stuff. And just enough of they just didn't feel something. They probably feel something very weird in their bodies. They pull something, it happens sometimes and stuff. So, we want them to be healthy. So, fortunately enough, they don't feel well. They just get kicked out the game and stuff. So, that's just basically that. Hopefully, Marte will be healthy later on, and maybe he'll come back soon later. Maybe he'll come in today and stuff. Who knows? But it's just like in this game, he just left a lot early. So that's that. And then bottom of the 7, Lars Nootbaar came in to replace Tyler Locklear for DH. We didn't really. This was a really weird game overall. There was a couple hits, and stuff. I think. Yeah, it just looks like 50-50 in a way by just looking at this and stuff. Yeah. The people didn't get base hit. Obviously, Marte, I get he's 0 for 1 because he left a lot early and stuff. Nolan Arenado, it's been downhill ever since, till he hit that grand slam against the Rockies. Yeah, cool. But just not really a whole lot from him and stuff. Tyler Locklear went 0 for 2. Brian Wolfsmith 0 for 3. And that's pretty much it and stuff. Like, Perdomo went 4 for 5. Like, that's crazy. I was looking for him to get for 5 or 5, but fortunately enough, his last bat was a pop-up, so that probably ended his, base hit in the game. Corbin Carroll went 2 for 4. Marina went 1 for 5. Vargas went 1 for 4. And Tim Tawa won 1 for 3 and stuff. I don't know. Why is my voice? Oh my god. And then, yeah, Brosa never got a base hit. He went 0 for 2. Lars Nootbaar got a base hit. That's good for him. But that's pretty much it. Again, overall, this was a weird game in a way and stuff. Not really a lot of scoring, a lot of base hits, a lot of pitching overall and stuff. And that's probably the thing is enough of we're going to go for is pitching wise and stuff. Just makes sense because, again, pitching wise enough of this was a pitching matchup overall. And both pitchers did really good and stuff. Starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, Brandon Pfaadt, went 7 innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 7, walked none, and gave up none runs. So really, really good. He just keeps, he's cooking, at the plate. It's just every single time he comes to the mound and he does good and stuff. I don't know, he doesn't struggle. Like, it's just so weird of it. And I think in every single time he comes up, he's dominated and stuff. And doesn't matter what team it is and stuff, he goes out there and does his best. And that's what we like to see from Brandon Pfaadt and stuff. So really good. Only gave up 2 hits. Like, that's really, really good. And just going just 7 innings, giving up no runs and walking none. Just that's really impressive. Not gonna lie. Um, Fortunately enough, of the starting pitchers for the Brave is Chris Sale. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 9, walked none, and only gave up 1 run. So again, this is the reason why enough of it was a pitching duo matchup. In a way and stuff. Both of them did great in a way and stuff. 9 strikeouts, it's insane. Chris Sale is honestly one of the best pitchers out there in our generation at this time, currency and stuff. He won Cy Young with the Braves as well. Crazy with the White Sox, with the Red Sox. All those teams and stuff. But yeah, it's just these are the things that we got really talk about so much enough of. These are fought just having a great career right now, having like a little comeback and stuff. And then obviously Chris Sale, you gotta understand enough of he's like pretty much like the ace on the Braves overall and stuff, and he's been like that ever since and stuff. So it's good to get a run off of him, but he's still like a good pitcher overall. And then bullpen for the Diamondbacks, Juan Morello and Brian Garcia and stuff. It's basically that simple as that. Scoring wise of enough there's only 2 of them, unfortunately enough, because that's the only score we ever gotten in the game and stuff. I'm not gonna talk both of them. One of them is kind of boring overall and stuff, and I'm glad enough of there was another scoring from somebody else and stuff, and fortunately got a run in overall. Just made the game a lot better overall and stuff. So, fortunately enough, that just letting you know enough of none of the scoring was on the Braves, so Braves did not score in this game, and but the rest are going to be the Diamondbacks. Gabe Marino with a RBI ground out to make it 1-0 top of the first. And I was getting a little worried a little bit, because to me enough of, man, this would be really, really boring if the Diamondbacks win a game 1-0 and they only won by a RBI ground out. Like, I don't know how rare that is gonna be in a game and stuff. Like, that's probably like the worst way to lose a game and win a game as well. So fortunately enough, I'm just so glad enough of Tim Tawa hit a solo home run to make it 2-0 at the top of the 9th. So it's crazy enough of the Diamondbacks scored 1, and then they scored another one in the 9th and stuff. So that's kind of crazy. And the Braves just did not get none out of that and stuff. That was the final score, 2-0. The Diamondbacks did win. Their record right now is 65-58. Looking pretty good overall and stuff. It's good to get a win overall than just losing a series over the Rockies and stuff. We're still up there with the wild card with the Phillies and stuff. You know what the Cubs are. They're like, the Cubs are still like a good team, so they want to be up there and stuff. We got to win games because the Padres are on our behind us in a way and stuff. And I don't want the Padres are kind of like creeping on us and our from our backs. And I don't want the Padres to have a comeback overall and stuff and be with us. But that's what I don't want overall. So we just gotta keep winning and stuff, and that's all that matters. Progress of enough of like I like what I'm seeing from the offense and stuff. It is crazy enough of like how did we lose a series against the Rockies, and enough of we can beat the Braves with a 2-0 game. Like what the heck is this? Um, it this is the thing about baseball. It is weird sport overall, but it's entertaining. Um, um, Yeah, they just need to just keep focusing on offense. I think that's like the most thing we need to do. This is how we win games is if the offense do good and stuff. And then fortunately enough, pitching wise enough looks pretty good. Getting up no runs in the whole game is huge and stuff. And hopefully enough of the Diamondbacks would absolutely keep going forward with this and stuff. I think that's going to be huge for the and stuff. So they just got to keep winning overall and do their best. MVP for this game is going to be Brandon Pfaadt. He did phenomenal in this game and stuff. I was thinking about Perdomo, but fortunately enough of that. And also Tim Tower with his whole home run. But fortunately enough, I thinking Brandon Pfaadt really deserved it very, very well and stuff. This is his fourth MVP on this podcast, so he's doing great. So maybe you have enough if he keeps doing this. He might get more MVPs somehow. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much of it and stuff. The game is about to start later on around 4:15 today and stuff. So that's pretty much of that. Again, it's just like they just need to just keep going and winning games and stuff. That's like the only progress they need to do overall. Just keep focus on the positive things. Where enough of if we win, to the end enough of and stuff, hearing about people or injuries and stuff, blah 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 and stuff. Hearing about enough of for Justin Martinez, I meant to say. Um, he's still into somehow the minors and stuff, like still doing of it. He looks pretty good overall, but I just don't know when he's gonna have a comeback and actually play games and stuff. Clearly enough of that I'm seeing from the screen a couple of times enough. They keep fooling me of enough of like, oh yeah, he's ready to go and stuff, and I'm not seeing him pitching at all. And like if you tell me enough of he's ready, have him put him in. Like I don't understand enough of like, oh, is he ready? Like don't fool me, don't fool the fans enough of on TV enough to put some stats on TV enough of oh he's going to play, or enough of he's not. So it's just those are the typical things I want to see and stuff. So if he's ready, why is he not ready? So that's like the most bogus thing enough of I ever seen on the TV from the Diamondbacks and stuff. They need to get better on that. Stop lying to us. Um, that's that. I'm hearing good things about Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, all these typical things and stuff. Hopefully, enough of them coming back enough. We gotta have our guys to be healthy, ready to go, and really help us to, pick us to enough of getting to the wild card and maybe more up top and stuff so we can get into playoffs and stuff, because playoffs is going to be a huge thing to get to and stuff, and I'm super excited for it. We don't want to go downhill because that's where it's going to go worse and stuff, because again there's other teams are competing for that wild card spot as well. There's two other people we're in as with the Phillies and the Cubs. I understand we're with them and stuff, but fortunately enough, again, the Padres, the Cardinals, the Nationals, the Marlins, those teams, maybe the Reds, who knows, they may sneak in somehow and stuff. They did it last year. They could do it again and again and stuff. Who knows? But fortunately enough of that, the Pirates are also in it too as well. So it's just those are the scary things enough of. Anyone can go hot and surprise people and stuff, and they can get in the playoffs by just other teams losing and stuff. And we don't want to be those teams to lose. So the only way enough of if we can keep going is to win games. So that's the positive thing about that, and just keep progressing with that. We're looking good, and let's beat the Braves. That's all we got. To think about and stuff. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.